Namaste. Today I want to read the introduction of the book from Osho, the Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, the 112 Techniques of Meditation. It's from the Book of Secrets actually, and it's a Tapoban publication. Yeah. So I'm not sure whether you can order it. Maybe you can buy it in Nepal, and the other you have to check it on internet whether you can order it. Exactly, I'm not sure about that. So I'm going to read some pages out of it, and then I intend to do the methods one by one. And then if you are interested, you can do the method, try the method, and or just listen to the technique, and just listen to the technique. Exactly, from the Book of Secrets from Osho. So I'm going to read now. So it is called, the first chapter, the introduction is called The World of Tantra. Some introductory points. First, the world of Vigyan Bhairav Tantra is not intellectual, it is not philosophical, it is concerned with method, with technique, not with principles at all. The word Tantra means technique, the method, the path, so it is not philosophical. Note this. Tantra means technique. So this treatise is a scientific one. Science is not concerned with why, science is concerned with how. That is the basic difference between philosophy and science. Philosophy asks, why this existence? Science asks, how this existence? The moment you ask the question how, method, technique become important. Theories become meaningless, experience becomes the center. Tantra is non-philosophical and existential. For Tantra, doing is knowing, and there is no other knowing. Unless you do something, unless you change, unless you have a different perspective to look at, to look with, unless you move in an altogether different dimension than the intellect, there is no answer. Answers can be given. They are all lies. All philosophies are lies. So whether you are a Hindu or a Mohammedan or a Christian or a Jain, it makes no difference. The real person behind the facade of a Hindu or a Mohammedan or a Christian is the same. Only words differ, or clothes. Tantra is not concerned with your clothes, Tantra is concerned with you. All the Tantra treatises are dialogues between Shiva and Devi. Devi questions and Shiva answers. It is not a dialogue between a teacher and a disciple, it is a dialogue between two lovers, and Tantra signifies through it a very meaningful thing, that the deeper teachings cannot be given unless there is love between the two, the disciple and the master. The disciple and master must become deep lovers. Tantra says a disciple moves as receptivity, so the disciple must be in a feminine receptivity. Only then is something possible. You need not be a woman to be a disciple, but you need to be in a feminine attitude of receptivity. A feminine receptivity means a womb-like receptivity in the inner depths, so that you can receive. That is why Tantra uses this device. Every treatise starts with Devi asking a question and Shiva replying to it. Devi is Shiva's consort, his feminine part. One thing more, now modern psychology, depth psychology particularly, says that man is both man and woman. No one is just male and no one is just female. Everyone is bisexual. Both sexes are there. This is a very recent research in the West. But for Tantra, this has been one of the most basic concepts for thousands of years. You must have seen some pictures of Shiva as Ardhanarishvara, half man, half woman. There is no other concept like it in the whole history of man. Shiva is depicted as half man, half woman. So Devi is not just a consort, she is Shiva's other half. And unless a disciple becomes the other half of the master, it is impossible to convey the higher teachings, the esoteric methods. When you become one, there is no doubt. When you are one with the Master, so totally one, so deeply one, there is no argument, no logic, no reason. One simply absorbs, one becomes a womb, and then the teaching begins to grow in you and change you. So this is Rar. Devi is sitting in the lap of Shiva and asking, and Shiva answers. It is a love dialogue, no conflict, as if Shiva is speaking to himself. Why this emphasis on love language? Because if you are in love with your Master, then the whole gestalt changes. It becomes different. Then you are not hearing his words. Then you are drinking him. Then words are irrelevant. Really, the silence between the words becomes more significant. What he is saying may be meaningful or it may not be meaningful, but it is his eyes, his gestures, his compassion, his love. That is why Tantra has a fixed device, a structure. Every treatise starts with Devi asking and Shiva answering. No argument is going to be there, no wastage of words. They are very simple statements of fact, telegraphic messages with no view to convince, but just to relate. They are just sutras, but each sutra, each telegraphic message given by Shiva is worth a Veda, worth a Bible, worth a Quran. Each single sentence can become the base of a great scripture. Scriptures are logical. You have to propose, defend, argue. Here there is no argument, just simply statements of love. The very word Vigyan Bhairav Tantra means the technique of going beyond consciousness. Vigyana means consciousness, Bhairava means the state, which is beyond consciousness, and Tantra means the method of going beyond consciousness. This is the supreme doctrine without any doctrine. Vigyana means consciousness, and Bhairava is a specific term, a Tantra term for one who has gone beyond. That is why Shiva is known as Bhairava, and Devi is known as Bhairavi, those who have gone beyond the duality. In our experience, only love can give a glimpse. That is why love becomes the very basic device to impart tantric wisdom. In our experience, we can say that only love is something which goes beyond duality. When two persons are in love, the deeper they move into it, the less and less they are two, the more and more they become one. And the point comes, and the peak is reached when only apparently there are two. Inwardly they are one. The duality is transcended. How to make this highest peak possible, beyond duality, beyond unconsciousness, beyond consciousness, beyond the body, beyond the soul, beyond the world, beyond the so-called moksha, liberation. How to reach this peak? The technique is Tantra, but Tantra is pure technique, so it is going to be difficult to understand. Devi says, do not be concerned with my questions. I have asked so many things. What is your reality? What is this wonder-filled universe? What constitutes seed? Who centers the universal wheel? What is life beyond form? How can we enter it fully above time and space? But do not be concerned with my questions. Let my doubts be cleared. I ask these questions because they are in my mind. I ask them to show you my mind, but do not pay much attention to them. Really, answers will not fulfill my need. My need is, let my doubts be cleared. But how can the doubts be cleared? Will any answer do? Is there any answer which will clear your doubts? Mind is the doubt. It is not that the mind doubts. Mind is the doubt. Unless the mind dissolves, doubts cannot be cleared. These 112 methods of meditation constitute the whole science of transforming mind. We will enter them one by one. We will try to comprehend first intellectually. But use your intellect only as an instrument, not as a master. Use it as an instrument to understand something, but do not go on creating barriers with it. When we will be talking about these techniques, just put aside your past knowledge, your knowing, whatsoever information you have collected. Put them aside, they are just dust gathered on the road. Encounter these methods with a fresh mind, with an alertness, of course, but not with argumentation. And do not create a fallacy that an argumentative mind is an alert mind. It is not, because the moment you move into arguments, you have lost the awareness, you have lost the alertness, then you are not there. Then you are not here, sorry. These methods do not belong to any religion. This is not religion, this is science. No belief is needed. It is not required to believe in the Quran or the Vedas or in Buddha or in Mahavira. No belief is needed. Only a daringness to experiment is enough. Courage to experiment is enough. That is the beauty. A Mohammedan can practice and he will reach to the deeper meanings of the Quran. A Hindu can practice and he will for the first time know what the Vedas are. And a Jain can practice and a Buddhist can practice. They need not leave their religion. Tantra will fulfill them wherever they are. Tantra will be helpful whatsoever their chosen path. Tantra is not very well known, and even if it is known, it is very much misunderstood. There are reasons for it. The higher and purer science, the less is the possibility that the masses will know of it. It was so deep and so high that this was natural. Secondly, because Tantra moves beyond duality, the very standpoint is amoral. Please understand this word, moral, immoral, amoral. We understand morality, we understand immorality, but it becomes difficult if something is amoral, beyond both. Tantra is amoral. Look at it in this way. A medicine is amoral. It is neither moral nor immoral. If you give it to a thief, it will help. If you give it to a saint, it will help. It will make no differentiation between a thief and a saint. Meditation is medicinal. It is a medicine. Tantra is amoral. It doesn't ask you who you are. Your being a man is enough. Wherever you are, whatsoever you are accepted. Choose a technique which fits you, put your total energy into it, and you will not be the same again. Real, authentic techniques always will be like that. Tantra says, you cannot change man unless you give him authentic techniques with which to change. Just by preaching, nothing is changed. This is Tantra's proposition. The mind is nothing but subtle matter. It can be changed. And once you have a different mind, you have a different world, because you look through the mind. The world you are seeing because of a particular mind. Change the mind, and when you look, there is a different world. And if there is no mind, that is the ultimate for Tantra, to bring about a state where there is no mind. Then look at the world without a mediator. When the mediator is not, you are encountering the real, because now no one is between you and the real. Then nothing can be distorted. So Tantra says that when there is no mind, that is the state of Bhairava, a no-mind state. For the first time you look at the world, at that which is. If you have a mind, you go on creating a world, you go on imposing, projecting. So first change the mind, then change from mind to no mind. And these 112 methods can help each and every one. Any particular method may not be of use to you. This is why Shiva goes on relating many methods. Choose any one method which suits you. It is not difficult to know which suits you. Take one method and play with it for at least 3 days. If it gives you a certain feeling of affinity, if it gives you a certain feeling of well-being, if it gives you a certain feeling that this is for you, then be serious about it. Then forget the others. Do not play with other methods. Stick to it, at least for 3 months. Miracles are possible. The only thing is that the technique must be for you. If the technique is not for you, then nothing happens. Then you may go on with it for life together, but nothing will happen. If the method is for you, then even 3 minutes are enough. So these 112 methods can be miraculous experience for you, or they may just be a listening. It depends on you. I will go on describing each method from as many angles as possible. If you feel any affinity with it, play with it for 3 days. If you feel that it fits, that something clicks in you, continue it for 3 months. Life is a miracle. If you have not known its mystery, that only shows that you do not know the technique for how to approach it. Shiva proposes 112 methods. These are all the methods possible. If nothing clicks and nothing gives you the feeling that this is for you, then there is no method left for you. Remember this. Then forget spirituality and be happy. Then it is not for you. But these 112 methods are for the whole humanity, for all the ages that have passed and for all the ages that have yet to come. In no time has there ever been a single man, and there will never be one, who can say these 112 methods are all useless for me. Impossible. This is impossible. Every type of mind has been taken into account. Every possible type of mind has been given a technique in Tantra. There are many techniques for which no man exists yet. There are for the future. There are many techniques for which no man exists now. They are for the past. But do not be afraid. There are many methods which are for you. So, thank you very much. This was the introduction of the book Osho, Vigyan Bhairav Tantra, the 112 Techniques of Meditation. It looks like this. And I hope you enjoyed it, and I wish you a wonderful day. Bye-bye.